everyone, I'm back. I was just doing a little bit of clearing meditation before I started again, and I was getting Mary Magdalene. I was also getting scrolling, like stop scrolling so much, slow down on your scrolling. And then Mary Magdalene was coming in and try not to get worried, try not to turn on to problems that upset you. Oh, don't you know everything's all right? Yes, everything's fine, and it's cool, and the ointment's sweet for the fire in your head and feet. Close your eyes and relax, think of nothing tonight. So I was coming up. Sorry, I can't sing in that range very well. And my throat's still a little bit clearing from the energy I was talking about on my last video. Having a little bit of, and it's not allergies, because I lost my allergies years ago now from the ascension process. But I was definitely clearing. I was doing some clearing work, healing someone, and I definitely pulled up some negative energy during that time, and I've been clearing it from the lungs and the heart, and I feel like it's just, in general, the collective energy is just shifting into that, more into the lungs again, and clearing that energy. So I'm going to pick up where we left off. And again, we were reflecting the energy of the 27 and the 72, which is the Queen's Gambit, which is was yesterday, and then the 72, which is the Four of Pentacles, which is the Divine Masculine's heart in the Bat Cave. And interesting, as I had to break to see my my daughter's friend, because I don't get to see her much anymore. She just happened to stop by. That energy of Batman in the Bat Cave came up as well. So the twin flame energies, the pillars of justice, truth and balance, the strength of Lionsgate, the star of Omega, the divine feminine ego, enlightenment, the star boomerangs around to become the flower, the flower, the 8, containing that energy blast and the sound of silence and the freedom of the lambs. As the underlying energy is the 4 of birth, the 42 of the blood dance, and the 41 of being service, the 45 of repairing the veil and forgiveness, holding Father's finger, and the 2 of Cups blood dance, the space between the chambers of the heart, the doorways, the portals, the moments of push and shove, the hesitation before the exaltation, over the threshold to another dimension, the diamonds connection, or as I already told you, the 2 humans connection or diamonds, the 2 worlds or 2 almond eyes, not I am but die am. On D, the decaseconds were coming up. And again, the energy of the 4 elements of the wand energy, and then the flint of fire. So not the wand energy, it would be the pentacles energy. The diamonds would make sense. Okay, so the diamonds is the pentacles energy. The flint then comes up as a definition of fire. The knife is the sword, and the jar is the cup. Instead of I am, the die am. Breaths and souls. 2 am forever, as opposed to diamond are forever. Forever is the 2 and 3. So for one who houses the royal flush, and that's the definition for EV. Forever is the 4, 3, and 2. The 4 fixed as 3 and 2 are active. Again, the energy of the emperor, and then the empress and the high priestess, or the divine feminine. The protons and electrons around the tree, the source, the neutrality. Jimmy Neutron in charge with pros and elects to circle around them with a ton of weight, or weight of the world. At last met a Tron as Michael's, or Michael's heels, my Achilles heels, you know what I mean, evolve. The birth of the lion and the lamb in the blood dance of the heart and the Holy Grail, her whole, his rail, to be in service, not stop, or a non-stop speedliner, one who leaps arcs, bridges, and shines their array. Today is the Ace of Cups, that was yesterday, and source direct energy there of 1-to-1 as the light activates the water, your light, your emotional watery heart, the ties that bind. And again, today's the 2s of the 2 of Cups and the 2 of Wands, where yesterday was the Aces. bonding the pages together and binding the pages together, the little ones who make the whole. Since you are all God's children, all fractals of Mother, Father, the Christed top dog, and the divine director. The spiral where the buck stops here, and two vine weaver regarding the courter, and I was just getting the courtier, the courter or the constructor, two vines, two spiritual leaders, guides or mentors, as the emperor with the 2 of cups, Ace of cups, and 5 of cups, where the 1 and 2 of cups are taking control by allowing the purge and getting over themselves to rise again, to bring the pages together and tell the tale, the root that is well read and seen, top down ash, the bright light, the topping on the cake down under, kind of like the northern and southern hemispheres. At 12:55 is the hanging man and the truth of the corseting, which breaks down to the co-arseting or co-resting in a different ordering, or the arse, that is the ET, or the RS, which means awaken. ET is extraterrestrial, but also the word and, or ... ET, and, which is also short for Andromeda. Got you pegged as us, or US, in the co-awakening, laughing all the way, ha 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 ha, or laughing plus, the binding and articulation, the art of the IC, the inner child, you, angle, and Tyon, which is the tiger-lioness connection. Going back and forth between each other's pages, becoming one in the center, in alignment with quantum entanglement while retaining your page-like qualities. So at 101 is the underlying energy of the 33 of the unicorn, the 29 star, 4 of the birth, 6 of the chariot, 35 of the wish, 23 of the owl, and the rainbow bridge of unity consciousness, reflecting birds, flyers leap to the stars to be present, a gift from the stars, radiating a serious tone of midnight blue mother and red magenta father, the chakra ray system and phased array, the genie in a bottle and the fairy godmother, who changes Cinderella's pumpkin into a sparkling carriage drawn by 4 unicorns. You just can't see their horns in 3D, or this kind of sparkle. The channeled vision, or rays aligned, of the I Am presence, and the spiral and technicolor vision of the phased array of rainbow spectrum to see each part more clearly. The stars, which is the ST, or the path of the AR, which is the reverse of ray, the ST, or path of R, versus the rats, or the arts, or the straw, the scarecrow, and Sophia's throne, Sophia's care of the crow, the whispering bench canoe on the high road of one. A star is born, and the chariot awaits to take them to the ball, where the wounded warrior surrenders to their wish of an open heart, clearly read, like an open book test. And again, who is it? The Tin Man, right? The Tin Man needs a heart. Like an open book test, as the tale is opened and the page is turned, there's always a middle that gets heightened or glowing, making you not wanting it to end, and always a lesson learned. As Father walks you down the aisle and Mother gets the limo for you, freeing your heart up so that the 23 of the King of Wands, wise owl, will know it when he sees it, and be sure. S-U-R-E is Sophia's you-are, one, equal, and congruent. The 1 of the 9, the first card next, was the eagle, the 36 of the world, the 7 of the cracker, and the wise old owl that gets excited or frustrated, even angry, still learning to master his passions this year in 2023, and turns to take flight as the hermit to go within as to not offend her. Around the world in 80 days with a map of intent, perhaps a nap of intent. And I wanted to say before I go on to the next page that remember with hormones, the masculine, when getting into an argument with a feminine, he leaves not to leave you because of hormone reasons, like his hormones need to balance out again, so he's actually doing this as a favor to you. to allow his hormones to neutralize again, so then he can come back again and talk to you. So, right? So the feminine will want to talk more, get more riled up, where the masculine will want to then pull away and have their private time. But you really both need some time apart if it gets too heated, and then readdress it later when you're more calmed down. So the energy of the around the world in 80 days with a map of intent or a nap of intent. At last, my love has come along as fireworks go off, cracking wide open the key, the gamma ray, the boomerang, the pi 3.14 chariot, the emperor and the angel, the bird and patience, nature and a higher love, of M as in Imana, the feminine god of the Pleiadians, with PR and the alchemist. The KI, which came up the other day with Elena Denon and talking to Ea, where he calls Earth Ea, so that's an Anunnaki name, whereas the Pleiadians call Earth Terra. So the energy of the key came up here, as in the KEY, but the KI is the spelling of Earth. The white light, the ray within, the boomerang of the boom E-rang and the boo me-rang. Clear communication back and forth between the two, a fortnight. But it was coming up as fourth, right? So F-O-R-T-H, and then the night as in a knight in shining armor. So instead of a fortnight, or a fort, as in like a castle type structure, and then the night as in nighttime, or the 2 weeks, but coming up instead as the fourth night, to create and then ground and integrate. And I wasn't even thinking about the 4 nights, but the fourth night's coming up there. So again, the key or earth, the white light or ray within. And I was just getting Raymond again from, could be something about Raymond, but it was coming up from Jerry Maguire. So Rain Man was coming up. And again, there is that energy of the new kids on the block, the little ones who are in higher vibration, who may struggle a bit with these lower vibrational energies still. The KI and the anxiety that they portray, which may come off as something different to an adult. The white light ray within, the boom E-rang and the boo me-rang, and the clear communication back and forth of fortnight or fourth night to create and then ground and integrate. So I talked about that too, as God's birthday being December 7th to the 13th, and then another week as a fortnight from the 14th to the 20th, then leaves us on 12/21, starting in an 81-day period, or 80 days around the world plus 1, which is also the end of karma around the world. And again, I get that energy from the numerology book, The Divine Triangle, but it doesn't state that specifically, but it does end the triangle at 81. The master comes in and then letting go to wait for it to return on the 81st day. So again, the idea between God's birthday, right, creating the earth in 7 days, but then there's 7 days to ground and integrate it, and then the 80 days around the world is to wait for that energy then to boomerang back to you. And then plus 1, the day the music died, is the day the sun and the muse of the inner child ascended, transcended, as 2 as 1 died. And died is D-I and E-D. It's the 2 and Ed, Mr. Ed and the extra dimensionals. Mr. Ed, straight from the horse's mouth. The ho-arse and the whore who sees. The awakened ease, or the eggs cracked open, co-creating the OU, or IOU energy to the nth degree, the corseted or yoked, co-awakened ET-ED, which is also extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional, or and Ed, as in the source energy here of Mr. Ed, the extraterrestrial and dimensional, or awakened plus ED, which can represent education as well. Mr. Ed's education in MRS, which MRS stands for co-creating, RS, which is the awakening. A master's program and congram, and some gray area there amongst the mountains and the valleys. And then 213, the time came up, which we defined 213 earlier from Gematria. Again, 213 being the LA area code, ain't the angels. And remember in 213, number 17 was I am Batman, number 4 was marriage, and number 6 was God's code. And that references the 4 of the masculine and the channeled energy, and the 6 of the spiraling energy of the feminine, and again referencing the 46 of the inner children loving each other. That 17 then comes up here as love is dreams coming true. Patience is 24 of the omega, the ega of the divine feminine ego, and 2-4, the spaces between the 2 and 4 something, the lambda leap as well, the lambda father. In the spaces between the hourglass, the 34 of the energetic exchange, and the unity of this here, and the arrows of love and hand fasting, the energy of unity, which is 1, the lowercase I comes up as the third eye here in the chakra system, with gratitude, TY. The 26 of the Page of Wands, which the 2 and the 6 come together to make a bursting 4th type of energy, or like a bow, getting a bit excited as the plane rises or takes off for places unknown. The 8 and the hourglass and the sands of time to infinity and beyond. Hourglass, at last, and glass, Sophia, and of time, or of sourcing me. At Sophia's pace, or in other words, space. After all, it's her father's whispering bench, with space to see and hear from a distance. One for all, and all AWL for one. The abundant leap, the bridge, the arc, to the higher self and the angels, where they conduct and spread their wings. 1 and 2, the divine masculine, all about the one and the all, and the divine feminine, the AWL, the whole maker, who punches holes in their story or tale, the devil's advocate, another perspective, his polarity or other side at 227, so again referencing the Queen's Gambit there with the 2 of the feminine or higher self, or just the 2. The 2 in the Queen's Gambit, a game for 2, using the Queen's bits and pieces to get the King, or get to the King, as the Queen's conception of you, Holy Grail, in the energetic exchange of normal saline, which also is coming up as Jesus, which is I-S-U-S, which means I know. I know. It also means I up or rise. And the energy of God. Jesus, I up, I know. As the 1 and the 2 of abundance and angel are the arc and the angle in the butt dance, or the one who gels or softens on one side. And can you say line, which is actually 2 dots that arc between each other, and can you say not bad? The 18 of lovers romance of 2 paths, yours and theirs. So be true to yourself, your Sophia elf. So the energy of the fortnight also came up as, you notice that fortnight, there's an extra letter in each, right? Because fourth has an H on the end, but we don't pronounce that, and then night has a K on the beginning of it, and we don't pronounce that. So fort and night with an H on the end and the K on the beginning. And so there's silent H and silent K, which also comes up as I4 because K can reference the 4 that's moved over, right? The L from in front of the line moves to the other side of the line, or moving to the other side. And I is the H, fallen over, which is then 9. And the 4 comes up for the K, not because it is the number 4, but because of the L that moved over to the other side. The 9 and the 4 is 13 of transition, and 9 then plus 51, because we have the L, which is 50, and 1, which is 51. So 9 plus 4 is 13, transition, and then the 9 of the Hermit and the 51 of the King of Swords brings then peace of the 60. And then the 4 and the 6 are the masculine and the feminine children, right? The lambda leap channeling and the spiraling 6. I am fallen over, and number 4 is the lambda leaping to the other side, or the lamb leaping to the other side, or getting on the father's bad side. So again, being called a bad child when you're young, and that's why Mr. Rogers was saying, can you say not bad? As 1 to 2, let's see here. All right, so at 236 is the Divine Feminine and the 36 of the 10 of Wands, which is Atlas energy, the weight of the world. The underlying energy of the 15 comes up, and the Mother prays, which the mantis is in this picture, and the mantis means soothsayer, with powerful forelegs and green coloring, perhaps. The 50 of the cloak of the 10 of Cups family of the heart, where the Mother prays, the Father cloaks. The 63 is in the middle of the bridge, in the light field storm, fully exposed. Suffering in silence, she rests or goes within to remind herself of the beauty she is. He may cloak the family, but she cloaks the field, the unseen. He with the scene of glory, but she with the coming of the Lord. The Mother prays to cloak him, as Father expects her to clean up to get their praise. As the Mother calms, the Father stirs up and challenges, as the Mother makes it all better. The 24 is the Queen of Wands again, the Omega energy of illumination. In the spaces between the words is a world of the Divine Feminine Ego, so the feminine ego, just like the Pleiadians also by one leader is considered system number 24, so there's that feminine ego, and also the Pleiadians consider their god as a she energy. Her crown, not seen in 3D, his crown, not seen in 5D. Here lies the blood dance and mixing it up, where the 24 valves and 42 chambers, so 24 comes up as the ones that kind of push you through. The 24 is the Queen of Wands, and the 42 is that 2 of Cup energy of the chambers, right, of being stuck in a room together, right, and having to deal with each other. Or is the chamber the space between, and the valve the instigator? The do-si-do of the to and fo, or the to and for, or the to and fro, or for and to, for toe. The 24 and 42, which equals 66, which is the Queen of Pentacles in the Golden Gate of the aqua rose gold Mother's heart. The 46, again, of the channeling masculine and the spiraling feminine. The 6 of Cups and just for a moment joy. As the 2 of Cups adult and the 6 of Cups children align in the womb of earth. Within nothing, there is everything. The 37 of fire and ice, as he takes flight and she takes the light hit, to conceive of the 3 keys of alchemy for 3 worlds of the inner earth, outer earth, and in the vortex. The mothership, her womb, and the poles of push and pull that keep it all together. The 40 in the void of the Page of Cups and innocence, and the 33 where God speaks, meeting the human halfway. When the 2 sides resonate, there's an automatic connect, where the lover's goals are love. Then they evolve. The 61 and the 51, where she risks to love, and he needs to dream a little. She loves equals Sophia's hello, creating the ES, which is S herself. She is also he, and Sophia praises the S. Sophia's hello from a holy place of offering in the vortex. Remember, she prays and he praises. Turn around, bright eyes, as she needs to come out a bit and he needs to come in a bit at 3:14. So of course that's Pi Day again. And the combinations of 3, 1s, and 4s kept coming up. So 61 and 51 equals 112, which in Gematria, the first entry is Libra, all about balancing. It also came up as the book, sick, flare, rigged, get, and fate. Remember, the book is Livre, very similar to Libra, And Libra, with an E on the end, is free. But Libra, as in the sign, is also pounds and weight, like the scales, the librar, to save, to free, where also to birth, to deliver and preserve. The scales of balance and the seesaw dance. As at 341, so like I said, 3, 1, and 4 keep coming up. It's now 341, the Empress and the 41 of the Holy Grail, the Ace of Cups, the underlying energy of the 28, the bountiful harvest of the twin flames, blanketing the fields, with number 3, Mother, Nature, celebrating differences, perhaps mother and daughter, with the 283, 3141, and there's that 314 in there again, to be spontaneous, to keep coming back to the bridge, as the unicorn and the dolphin, as the land and the sea, to be in service to the little ones, and the Pisces, the mother's patience, with 28, 33, and 141, the twin flames on the 33 bridge of one for all and all for one. Mother and waves beating up against her pillars, the group, the waves, trying to get your attention by beating up against you. Over and over again, and then finally befriended, right? So the one who never gives up ultimately becomes a friend, one-to-one. To be in service to the ones you love. Treasure the one that gets you and feeds the little ones with your love. Lay the groundwork and then bridge again, and then bridge again. It has been done one-to-one, of land and sea, flower and tree, planet to planet, grid to grid, Andromeda and Pegasus. Let the sun shine, let the sun shine in, the sun shine in. So there again, Aquarius is coming up, and I did post the Age of Aquarius today with one of my Instagram posts. So at 419, which is the Emperor and stability, and the 19 of the Sun, the first card here is the 43 of love matters and coming together. And again, 314 and 143 come together here. Pi and the leap to 43, which is the 3 of Cups, of coming together. And there's this energy of your children here as well. So sharing the pie with the seahorse and birds coming in, opening up to new planes of existence. Remember, seahorse is also Pegasus, which just came up with Andromeda. So sharing the pie with the seahorse and birds coming in, opening up to newer planes of existence, giving to the little ones for self-love and joy, to be your best self always, 24, Queen of Wands, and just enjoying watching them play, right? Not always have to be the one who's involved. One-to-one, one-to-one, and then time out to observe with 48 and go within. And crown with the glory, and then take off to the beach perhaps, for some time alone, or fresh ocean air and water, flocking with the seagulls and the eagles, one equal and congruent. Charging your rainbow hair, after the octopus, camouflaging their head underwater with shells and caves, coming out into the open to color your hair, as the sun naturally does, kissing and all. As the 23 King of Wands, and in 2023, you are worth it, King of Wands, your vision of your ship coming in, of blossoming horizons, 7 candles, and flowers in her hair, as the 7th planet is Uranus, and Aries is in the North Node for sudden events. At 431, here we go again, 4, 3, and 1. The Emperor, and then the waves of flames with the 5 of Wands, which can represent conflict and competition in groups, but also playing and having fun in sports and the pursuit of happiness. The underlying energy of the 9 in the Hermit, the green moth that dances on one foot in a balancing act like a single parent in the pursuit of happiness. The 27 of the Queen's Gambit and the Ace of Wands for the heart home and calm compassion. The 53 of the Curious Stranger and the Knight of Swords with laser hands. He's contemplating diving into a spring, hermiting in the cave or in the heart with the Knight of Swords, the 63 of the Winter's Dream, and the 9 of Swords, the gestation period of having to be still, right? It's not in human's nature to stay still. The 49 with the 9 of Cups, getting your wish after 9 months of gestation period, the skywriting of the fates, and the 45 of repairing the veil, wrapping up the tale and delivering the story, binding the pages together in a purge of sorts, right? Writing the book, clearing bottoms up and then coming back down, untying the knot to retie it in a bow with forgiveness, you know. So at 437, which is the Emperor and the King of Cups, or the 3 keys of alchemy, the 15 of the Dust Devil comes in, kicking up the dirt, after getting over loss and regret, the past, and time to stir things up, turning ash into bright light. The 42 of the 2 of Cups and the Netcaster, making preparations that have now come to fruition, securely bound and over self in a dust storm in the valley of death, facing the shadow in a whirlwind, as a book came out, whipping up some advertising or shadow publisher perhaps, casting the net 1-to-1 with the 24 Queen of Wands Omega as the galactic mushroom crowns with all layers peeled back, opening up to the juicy center that glows in the 2 vine matrix, the mother's tricks to get the 2 into the mushroom together. And again, I'm getting failure to launch, where they're stuck in the room together until they work it out. So the 3 is the mother, the Empress energy, or Mother Nature, abundance. As Wilson, Shaman, and Soccer Ball, Starseed, and I was just getting Rain Man coming there too. So as Wilson, Shaman, Soccer Ball, and Rain Man, and the Starseed with the pit within, pops out of their crown to say hello, as father and mother in trading places. The sky writing is now all laid down in words by a shadow writer, 1-to-1 with the Queen of Wands, Capricorn and Taurus, or father and mother, who are now finishing their story and retiring as benefactors of grace and generosity to their mushroom from Mother Mary and Constantinople, which can be a reference to Greece as well. But there was definitely a reference there to my parents as they were coming in as part of the message. Making peace with the devil, or the messy one, 45 and 15 equals 60 of the 6 of Swords and finding peace. The 42 and 24, which are actually my parents' soul numbers, my mother was 24, my dad was 42, of the 6 of Cups and the Queen of Wands, and the root 66 of the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, sorry, that was just my phone talking. I don't know what she said. That might have been a message for you guys. 66 is the Queen of Pentacles, and root 66 as the Queen of Pentacles and the father's legacy and the mother's crown, Omega. The Knight of Swords and the Queen of Wands, or deliverance after casting the net and revealing the crown, throwing the blanket down and unfolding the laundry to go through it with each other, catching an angelfish and glowing mushroom, or perhaps a knucklehead, and laughing all the way, ha ha ha. Be any factor, or benefactor, sit right back and enjoy the show. Find a cuddle buddy and look out at the horizon. Do you see the ship? Yes, that ship coming straight for you. Yes, the unbelievable view. And not even a clue here. But you are ready and waiting, and with your little boat or canoe present. And what would you say if I told you that that big ship coming in belongs to you? The horn cactus present here is very resourceful, with horns, protection, and very juicy in the middle. And it's green, not brown. Can you guess? It's between 3 and 4, and between benefactor and caterpillar, or cat ER pillar, and it's also between Ben and Cat, which is Ben the mouse, the cat and mouse, or B and C, which equals the 3-1-4 of pi and C's, with space between. So what's between 3 and 4 besides 3.5, 3.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or a surprise visitor, which then I had a surprise visitor today with prickly pears. No prickly pears though. Where cactus equals the succulent plant with thick, fleshy stem, bearing spines but no leaves, such as euphorbs, which comes from Euphorbus, the Greco-Mauritanian physician to King Juba, who described their medicinal properties, etc. And EA then came up right after that in the definition there. So euphoria comes up versus euphorbs, or orbs, where EU equals the ego. Bravo, I, one, EWE, U. The wood, the incus, or the bone in the middle ear. So again, wakening up the middle ear bone for your psychic hearing abilities. And the cloud before the thunderstorm, right? The moments before, the 0 points here. So euphoria, so then Ea comes up as Enki, according to Elena Danon's connections, versus euphorbs, which is the Greco-Mauritanian, physician connection. The ego and the middle ear bone, the incus, and the clouds before the thunderstorm. The carriers, the bearers of one, or EA, or Ea, or ego personas, or bliss versus the incus bearer. Perhaps EA is a river or sovereignty or breath and vapor, which vapor is Eden in alchemy. Or Ea is shy, perhaps ashamed, or with ash and bright light. Life force, to rise up, the bliss of Eden versus BS. Now, come now, ever, anytime, as BS means Bess, who's the God protector of households and mothers, children, and childbirth. Or Baxi, I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, equals the medical doctor or physician. So again, 2 times the definition of a physician came up here as the BS side. So the energy of the carriers of the moment before, the feminine ego, the inner ear, the clouds before the storm. By life force, vapor, or Eden, to rise up to the now moment in every now moment. By Bess, the protector of God, or to be a physician. As Will and Grace are planning a surprise, as the cat sees the cat and mouse opportunity, or doctor makes a house call. A green, horny, prickly gift. And it was so reminding my dad and my mom, because my dad used to rub his beard against our faces when we were little. Or again, that 5 o'clock shadow coming up here as well. But you can get that as a divine masculine energy as well. So the wise King of Wands is out. Let's see what else. Something else was coming up top. It was taking me back to timelines for wounding stuff. It was taking me back to certain ages. The numbers of the cards were literally taking me back to certain years. It was pretty incredible, the journey. And all of a sudden, 7 started popping up all over the place because my power number is 7. And then it had me go back to all the 7 years. And also was bringing up the difference between me and my twin and our ages, right? And what was going on with you at the same time that they were at this other age. It was very interesting what was coming up. So bear with me. And you might want to try some of that yourself. So in numerology, the cycles go in 9. So from 0 to 9 is one period of your life, 9 to 18, and so on. But then there's also a 27-year period, so 27, 54, and 81. There's also year periods and 4-month periods and daily periods, right? There's a number for everything. And again, the book that I learned from in my 20s was Numerology, the Divine Triangle, which is based on Pythagoras and I'm blanking out on his name, the psychic. I always forget his name. I don't know why I can't remember it. But his destiny number was 44, which is that energy of the social worker. And the divine triangle is defined as Atlas energy. But in my messages and downloads, I keep getting Atlas as the masculine energy and Hercules as that feminine social energy of the 44. So, so what was coming up here? The King of Wands, the wise owl, 1-to-1, who self-loves, to forgive self and or the past, repairing the veil, allowing himself to receive, perhaps from a father or a mother. After the number 61 whale and the ocean portal resonating with the dragon's hoard, perhaps one is in a bubble womb and the other carries a bubble or carries a womb. The whale's song is a purging serenade, a wailing ceremony. The mourner, and that professional mourner came up on the last read. As Doctor, or the dragon, the Doctor Agon and Shoah Road drag on, breathe in, a collective wake-up call to those in the deep blue sea, taking a risk to hang out in mother's womb, to sharing the 73 of the 5 of Pentacles lovers who are out in the cold, in the moody blues, the cosmic womb of the divine feminine in 3 dimensions. So again, here's where those cards were coming up, one right after the other. I was born in 61, and then 12 and 6 come up, and we're 6 years apart. And then it was bringing up all of these points in my life that were very significant, like graduation year and all that kind of stuff. And also when I had traumas, and every power year, so every 7 year from the year they told me, there was a trauma every 7th year, but there was also a blessing at the same time. So it was very interesting. So part of the numbers too coming up here were then 13 to 7, which then reflects that week of God from December 7th to 13, right? The week that the earth was created. And the covenant comes up there. And that when I was age 7, that's actually when I had a thought when I was 7. I didn't know how I was going to make it till age 30, because I knew at age 7 that I wouldn't be happy until I had my children around age 30. And I had my son when I was 29. So when I was 7, I knew that, but I didn't know how I was going to survive from 7 to 30. And I had bowel movement problems at age 6. They thought I was really sick for a week. There's that week of creating the world. And that was when I was 6, and we're 6 years apart. So I was really sick from age 6 to 8. I was wearing rubber pants a lot, because I couldn't control my bowel movements. So by the time I was 8, I don't remember any problems after that. After we moved, I don't know if I just got healthier, if I just grew out of it, but I stopped having those problems. And then it was just bringing all these different things for me to remember back into my childhood, because there were so many wounds that came up. And again, the sports, because I did gymnastics, and I did diving, I did swimming, I played basketball, and I played tennis in junior high, which I never really was into other than that time. So there's all these different things that came up that you don't normally remember in your day-to-day life. So it's really taking us for a deep dive back into our childhoods. They really want you to feel into those energies that you have kind of skipped over. If he dives, I lose my balance, which was coming up as the message. If I go down with him, if he dives and I lose my balance, then I go down with him, like the moth to the flame. The monkey's vision comes up here with 13 to contract. And again, the monkeys then came up, and then I remembered in junior high school, because the monkeys were big at that time, and I loved Davy Jones. So the monkey in the middle, and then remember Ringo Starr came up last time too, and I won a hand-drawn picture of Ringo Starr I think it was 7th grade dance, and 7th grade was the first year that was coming up for me to go back to. And again, 7 is my power number. So you get your power number from the addition of your life lesson number and your destiny number. So and this has to be the first name that you received. So some people who don't receive their middle name on their birth certificate, you use the birth certificate name. That's your first name. So you take the vowels and just the base number. So even though, like for example, U is 21, you don't use the 21, you use the 3. So it's a base number 3. And you add up all your vowels for your soul number. The consonants add up for your outer personality number. But there's things like Y, which can be a vowel and a consonant. So if it has a sound, it's a consonant. But if it's more well, no, that's not true. If it has a sound like Y sounding like an E, then it's a vowel. But if it's silent, then it's the consonant. And that's the outer personality number. If you add the vowels and the consonants together, that's your destiny number, and your birthday is your life lesson number. So if you add your destiny and life lesson number, that's your power number, and that's usually just reduced to a single digit. So again, it's hard to remember your whole childhood, especially if you've lived a long time like myself. And so if you bring up your siblings, because they're markers in your life for remembering things, and how old they were in certain years, that might bring up some stuff as well. Who were the friends you were hanging out at that time? Who were the teachers that you liked or didn't like or had a problem with? The energy of 7 to 13 in God's birthday, the 10 and 9, his and mine, with the master plan unwritten. And again, it was coming up as like this, there was a contract here to transition at age 7 into your emotions of knowingness. The remainder at 13 about gymnastics by 9, diving by 10, and then home by 27, which is when then I left my first husband, who was very abusive, so that I could meet my children's father, right? And I birthed by 29. So there was always, at every age of card that were coming up here was very significant. So again, they're urging you to do this kind of thing for yourself. At 734 then, again, the 7 coming up, and 3 and 4 equals 7. The Knight of Swords Stranger comes up with the 53. And the, and when I was 53 is when I met my twin. And then put me into a dream state, was the energy there of the cards here. And then the time speeds up. So saying, like, if it gives you a time span of a certain amount back from the time you met, it doesn't mean it's the same amount of time, because now time is speeding up. So that can be irrelevant. Back to 49, which is then 7 by 7, and 2011, and the moment before 2012, which was again that energy of the end of time. And then I was with the person I was with for 7 years at that point. And they were all significant time periods. It was amazing that how this was coming up. And it was like one where it was when one of my children was going off to college, or one was going to high school, one was going to main campus instead of a local campus. And then again, it was triggering all of these things that we were doing at the time. And then again, when I was in school, again, when I was working, because I have a fashion design certificate from Moore as well, which I was doing before my parents then fell into a spiral, and we had to start taking care of them. So there's all these significant timelines coming up. And then it took me back to 45 and 2007. So there's that 7 again, where then my daughter was experiencing junior high issues. I also had an FDA audit around that time, I think, at work. And you forget about all this stuff. So then I went through from age 7, all the 7 years, because my power is 7, so that may not be the number for you to use. So I went through all those years to see what came up, and again, at every 7 year, there was a trauma and a blessing. So, but I also have 2 power numbers in my numbers. My soul number is 38, 11, 11, 22, 33, and 44 are considered power numbers, so they require more from you, but you get more in return. And my life lesson number is 44, 8. So I have 2 power numbers. And it was difficult for me as a child and in my life lesson, obviously what I'm doing now. And then it took me from young age all the way to 27, right, where it cleared again, and then 54. Yeah, and anyway, each year was so clear. So, do your numbers, see if it works out for you, to bring up some old stuff that you've forgotten about. So back to the messages in the cards at 856, it's bringing back to the energy of the feminine, that she's all about the cuddling and he's about the chase. Remember, the cactus equals the Knight of Swords reversed with the 10 of Cups upright, perhaps getting sexual or passionate offers from the crazy high priestess who's weak or needing strength or courage, or triggered and pushed to the limit. as the high priestess, the sister, or the higher self, the aide or the nurse, present to the one ending the pain. And the spinal pain comes up in this card as well with the caterpillar, and ignoring them over and over again. With Virgo and Leo both reversed, right, because they haven't passed yet, they haven't come to pass. The Pisces and Virgo upright here, or coming out about passion to the Ten of Cups upright, family of love or emotional fulfillment, and the Knight of Swords reversed, who may be lying or not charging them, offering passion but refusing love, or weak in a breakup and wanting to have sex after you broke up with someone. But the Knight of Swords reversed isn't having it here, using the Ten of Cups upright to shield them. The cactus may be a gift to mom and dad, or perhaps from mom and dad. Or maybe you are the gift to mom and dad. Maybe you're visiting your parents because you are the gift for them to just have your presence there. But they may be heavily cloaked here. The underlying energy here is the Four of Wands reversed, unstable with the Queen of Swords upright, or visits for work, issues with ex, or coming back and having to be removed, in a spontaneous healing or sudden dreams coming true, and offering the Ace of Pentacles upright to the twin flame for their energy, the energy exchange or arrows of love with the Six of Cups, loving children, the inner children, and feeling insecure perhaps after a death or the end of a marriage, or Gemini reversed and Scorpio upright. And that's funny, my daughter's friend came by with someone I'd met before, but we had a nice long conversation. She was a Gemini. But Gemini reversed, Scorpio upright, Taurus upright, or Dark Knight and the Hierophant at the changing of the guards, 717, or July 17th, and the North Node, and the death of Taurus, and then Libra, or marriage or mediation of Scorpio and Libra or Judge, with bad news for the wounded warrior upright, keeping to themselves, perhaps dissatisfied, and so they're dumping all their responsibilities or just giving up, or unhappy with their work, and perhaps going with a split or divided. And needing clarity about the devil or temptation, or Capricorn waving, perhaps released of the devil, or the devil let loose on the Queen of Cups, or perhaps Aquarius upright, or an announcement to wake up the dead, as the Queen of Cups and King of Swords are coming clean, or cleaning up by implementing a plan, or getting the Divine Feminine to come out and get over their loss or sorrow. With the King of Pentacles upright in 5D connection, perhaps the Divine Feminine is the Master of Pentacles, and perhaps sleeping with the Two of Cups, Divine Four of Pentacles, Divine Masculine's heart, in connection with the world reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, stuck or stubborn or unable to function, tripping up in front of the King of Wands, sunshine, or fully exposed. Perhaps Divine Masculine is afraid to make a fool of themselves, with the King of Wands, Leo or friend, or perhaps Cyrano de Bergerac, perhaps at dusk or before sunrise, or kids excited to go on a vacation, or to stay up all night, seeing synchronicities, or learning about the stars, or perhaps like a kid in the candy store. Handing out or hanging out with Leo upright and Cancer reversed, and Pisces and Capricorn upright, perhaps lying out under the stars with the Queen of Wands reversed and foolish Aries reversed, as the King of Wands could be Leo with Cancer in their chart, or perhaps out in the sun all day with lots of options but one unknown, or day and night watching for synchronicities, or someone here getting lots of trophies, whether it's the King of Wands' trophies or the King of Wands is watching the Knight of Pentacles reversed fall and getting a low score, or the King of Wands is upright, like a kid in a candy store looking at all of his other options while hanging out with the Queen of Wands reversed, who's lacking faith, or feeling like a fool, or she could be sick and tired as well, or maybe she feels like a fool for being seen with him because he's watching everybody else. Perhaps the Queen of Wands reversed is embarrassed, or embarrassed herself in front of the Emperor, destined to school the golden goose on the ride home, where angels fear to tread, or the Queen of Wands reversed made a fool of themselves in front of a crowd, or Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Sag, or a group thereof, and no peace with the Page of Cups reversed, and maybe that's their rejection, or perhaps a bad score, or there's a baby crying nonstop, or Or perhaps someone's telling a child not to be a crybaby. You know, if you're dealing with kids in sports competitions, that happens all the time. As the Page of Cups reversed, may be fighting with the Queen of Pentacles upright and the Empress upright, so perhaps a mother and a grandmother, or a sister and a mother. And there's the Page of Pentacles reversed there too. So these two kids also could be fighting. They could be two pets as well, or a child and a pet. Perhaps the Page of Pentacles reverses between them. And again, the Queen of Pentacles and Empress may be between the two kids to protect them or to stop them from fighting. Perhaps Pisces, Page of Cups reversed, and Page of Pentacles reversed Taurus fighting, and the Queen of Pentacles is breaking them up. Or the Emperor is driving to see a patient they rejected on a quest to make peace with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress uninvited. Or the Emperor came to see the Empress, but the Queen of Pentacles is there with them, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, which can be a child or pet. Or perhaps just them needing some help. Or perhaps they're seen as opportunists. Or a pet may be being held back by them, you know, at the door, if the pet's jumping all over the place, which actually happened today. As the Empress is sharing or checking out customers at work while working to align or get their ducks in a row, under the radar or with a bad reputation, post-war or post-virus, dealing with PTSD, and the Page of Wands reversed and the Nine of Pentacles reversed, perhaps a dependent child, uncomfortable socializing in separation, or uncomfortable about a third party whose heart was broken and is suffering in silence over the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, community, or legacy of dysfunction or loss, or having to make a big purchase perhaps. Perhaps because of the King of Cups reversed, the Knight of Cups reversed, and the Knight of Wands reversed, perhaps attacked them. Or maybe they're just feeling it too, the energy's coming in. Perhaps the Page of Wands reversed and the Nine of Pentacles reversed were hanging out with bad influences, and now they feel bad for what the Ten of Pentacles reversed, the King of Cups reversed, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Wands reversed did to them. Perhaps they are without defense or excuse. As the Knight of Swords reversed, perhaps used the Ten of Cups to shield them from the Ace of Wands of the crazy old man perhaps, or sicking their dog on them, or pushed to their emotional limit, overwhelmed, and had to get an aide or a nurse for them to be present in a painful ending while grounding and integrating, being ignored, or a sister giving a massage as a gift, but they weren't appreciated for doing that. At 10:04, message received. Perhaps someone comes in to stir up some shit. Not to be mean, but maybe you may feel that way as the universe triggers you to move out of an old story and into a new realm. As Atlas is dumping on the High Priestess or the Divine Masculine on the Divine Feminine, putting the world on Hercules' shoulders, pushing them both underwater to go for a ride, perhaps in a coral reef, and collecting some samples. And again, this brings up the card in Nature's Whispers of Andromeda, like the wild child with the rainbow hair, riding her seahorse, Pegasus. So after the fireworks and back to the vortex of fire and ice, and in the ear, again the Incus bone, with the King of Cups and the Queen of Wands going within, or sticking their head out the window to let the breeze run through their hair. Perhaps Cancer and Pisces and the King of Cups reversed, and Aries, Queen of Wands reversed. Perhaps there's a gift waiting for them when they get home. Perhaps a little peanut, perhaps in Leo season. Or a gift for grandparents' homecoming. Or perhaps on July 29th, which is tomorrow, there may be a Leo surprise. Perhaps the Emperor is unraveling this fairy tale. Or the Capricorn 42 and the Two of Cups are 24. Queen of Wands, maybe a knucklehead or casting a net, while a couple sits back and chuckles, or someone unwraps or unravels their gifts. So at 11:11, there's the energy of a losing battle of recovery, perhaps an unnatural death, rendering them defenseless, or Capricorn, Scorpio, or temptation, dark night, ganging up on them. Or perhaps there's a rescue team, or the ball and chain. And the ball and chain can be part of the rescue team, right, to get them out of there, literally. But the next first card here is the Ace of Wands, upright. Maybe a crutch given to help somebody walk, or another kind of crutch perhaps, but perhaps passionate, to help give them energy. perhaps given by a fallen angel, King of Wands reversed, who lost his balance and hurt himself, or losing their patience facing their fears, or the Knight of Swords reversed, telling them off and sharing with others, but not them, or exchanging war stories, perhaps sadness or loss, as the Emperor upright after a sudden event or drama, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, needing help. This was also bringing up the time when I was with Mercedes Kirkle's group in the south of France. One of the girls, the driver, hurt her ankle, and we were all helping her heal, and I actually ended up giving her my walking stick because we were doing a lot of hiking, climbing steep hills, and it was perfect because I was able to give that to her because I really didn't need it when I went home. And that was reminding me of giving her that stick. It was the same thing as giving this wand to someone, helping them with a crutch. 1125 is the King of Pentacles upright and the King of Cups reversed, perhaps a divorce or a break in a contract, as Aries upright, Scorpio and Taurus reversed, and the Ten of Cups upright with the Magician upright. The happy family with all they need, or perhaps there's some snow magic that comes out of the blue, as the Knight of Pentacles helps to awaken with hard work, perhaps drained by the sun. You know, it could be a day hiking outside. Perhaps they're done their journey now and receiving some love from a secret passion, or no longer silent. Looking back now that the worst is over, with the Page of Swords, without choice but to step it up. In a heated exchange and caught off guard, with the World reversed and surrendering to the Empress reversed and the Hermit reversed, or Pisces reversed, perhaps Saggy there too, with Taurus and Virgo reversed, all reversed, or stuck with a mother and an old man, or two ill parents at the same time. Perhaps home with the Nine of Pentacles and starting fresh at 1143, and keeping their energy clear in the silence within, with their hands tied in separation or a heartbreaking situation. Assessing their worth or their time on their hands, reaping rewards of efforts, or perhaps a long time. Working to align with something more, with the Queen of Swords reversed, grieving, but perhaps at work, or having a visit with someone or a visitation, like it's not stopping them from doing what they need to do. Where the Moon is upright here with romance, and the Knight of Cups upright offering love, to the Page of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands upright, with the Queen of Cups upright here. Perhaps the Knight of Cups has to get through the Page of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands upright in order to get to the Queen of Cups. The Two of Cups juggling act of two performing together, perhaps a daily routine, or destined to be kept in check, holding on with options, synchronicities, and heaven in their eyes, awaken to the Page of Cups and their innocence of a loving child at 1201. The Hanging Man and the Magician. As the Queen of Wands is taking their case, perhaps weak in a breakup or lack of affection, uncomfortable until they're free, as dreams are coming true for the Queen of Pentacles, unable to come together in a breakup, a breakdown, break in, out, or through, and perhaps in need of peace. Perhaps dissatisfied King of Swords reversed is playing hardball and announcing a submission for clarity, perhaps to a judge or Libra, or stressed out about the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or legacy, dysfunction, or loss, or perhaps the need to spend a lot of money or pay out a lot of money. And happiness for beginners came up there as well. And then again, the blue avian's coming back, and carry on. So now we're going to go to the message on the table in front of you. And where did I put it? Oh, here it is. All right, so here's the read in front of you now on the table. Okay, it's just the SIRIAN Starseed deck as the big cards, and then the Rider-Waite mini deck. I did pull a bunch of cards at the end because they just kept coming up as part of the story, so I'll tell you what cards I was pulling as I tell you about that. But this one, let's see here, I just need to take a sip of my water. All right, so this was cut and it was done on the 20, later in the 26th, going into the 27th and today. So we have the SIRIAN Starseed deck cut at 327, which is the Empress and the 27 of the Ace of Wands. And I finished clarifying at 341, so there's that 3, 4, and 1 again. The 3 of the Empress, the 41 of the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. And let's see, we have the major arcana or karma, which is the Judgment card, guidance, which is the Hierophant, and justice. Before the read, Ascension came up, and after the read, the Hanging Man. There were 2 pentacles, 4 swords, 1 wand, and 1 cup. 24 and 11 came up there with the Queen of Wands and justice, truth and balance and alignment. The King of Swords was the only player in the read. And then before the read was the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups. And they're really positive energies in this read. But then after the read, we had the King of Wands, Queen of Cups, and then the 9 of Wands of the Wounded Warrior there. The numbers came up. We have triple 9s, double 8s, and double 7s. So 7, 8, 9 is significant. That also represents the 5D. And then also we have 3, 4, 5, 6 as significant. The 88 was the most significant here, which is the twin flames dancing side by side, already balanced within their own energies, just waiting for that third 8 to knock them over into the infinity symbol, and then hooked up and connected without break. Then we have the 3, 4, 5, 6, pick up sticks. 77, of course, is the Sovereign, the 9 of Pentacles, and the triple 9s, which is all about endings and compassion, that energy of the Hermit, and one for all as well. And then triple 9s are 27, which is the Queen's Gambit, Queen's Choice. And 1 came up as well with the 2. So 12 is the Hanging Man, 23 is the King of Wands. So the code line here was all about the number 18, which came from 6, 4, and 8. 18 is also the moon. It's also Kai. And the energies in the code line came up as Nai, N-I, which could be Nini. And Nina could be coming up as well. But it's the, a double show of power, the double jeopardy. 2 U's, trees, wood, now, place, us. The number 2, soul, life, spirit, I, water, we, nephew, even and not even. And the number 9, so 2 and 9. A day or 24 hours a day, ourselves, behold, neither yes or no. Any liquid, river, coconut, unless, never fish, head hair, to us, some to be, did you know? Y'all, markers of possession, to have, to say, and to be, perhaps to be bloated, or just to be. The sun and Nina, a kind of Nina. And then the Nina is the crossword, the fire, you and y'all. The pupil, doll, girl, child, mother, nose, tip, name, candle, match, woman, and female. So 2 souls, 2 suns, to be or not to be, an epiphany of lovers never exactly equal, but always perfect complements. The child of the emperor or egg for the master, the inequity of work, and the 8 of Pentacles aligning with God in the divine or two-vine justice of one equal and congruent. The energy of divine justice, and again, double jeopardy of 22 and 99. The Fool or Agent 99, 2 nows that place us as grid holders or placeholders. 2 Ninas or candles, 2 pupils to hear their say. 2 coconuts who see the 6 of the spiral and the 4 of the channeling. Of the EI voice, sound, fire, honey, and to be, the mother, and I, to possess her, his, and its. The MYND, which means what goes around comes around. To we. The number 6 of the spirals and the number 4 of the lambda or lambda father leap. The channeling energy with the blinders on. And together make destiny. Master works harder because she must birth the child. The energy of the divine justice does not work in equal measure and yet measures equally. So we start with the 6 of Pentacles upright and the underlying energy here, the top big card with the mini cards on top. I'll push this over that way a little bit so you can see better. And beneath that is the 9 of Pentacles upright, the Ascension or World card reversed, the 9 of Cups upright, the 7 of Pentacles upright, which for me in this deck is the Divine Feminine's heart in the E Tower, and then the 7 of Swords is upright, which is that passing of downloads energy. So the sovereign Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups in the 5D world with the Divine Feminine in the E Tower passing downloads, as the Divine Feminine takes a risk to share with others. The Knight of Swords reversed holds their tongue to be free, and then the Knight of Pentacles upright offers help, work, or a practical proposal, perhaps to their twin flame. Perhaps they hold back and then they share, getting over sadness or regret, or arousal, or being seen as a whistleblower, detoxing the Knight of Wands reverse player who may have fell short, or who played them, tap dancing around the breaking of the chains, out of control, or going too fast and falls off their high horse, distracted by the performance, unable to master their passions that are shared at 414, the Emperor and the patient angel, or the fallen angel. So at 415, that is, which is also tax day, the recent past is the Three of Swords. So this may be a recent past of taxes. Maybe somebody had an issue with taxes there. And the Storm, or the electricity and the charge of the High Priestess, the Four of Wands, and the Ace of Swords, all upright, perhaps cozy at home, offering the truth of the sword, or the S word, that's being pushed out of the stone, not trying to be pulled out of it from without. It's being pushed out from within. The sword being pushed out of the stone from within. The truth causing depression. Depression is something pushing down into something, right? On the Page of Pentacles reversed, who's losing patience with the Page of Wands, who's excited, but not about them. As Pisces, Aries, and Virgo are all upright here, where Aquarius and Sagittarius are reversed, the foundation is the Eight of Wands reversed, sharing a heated exchange while working to align with the Eight of Pentacles in a Tower moment, a sudden event, an epiphany or sexual exchange, and then back from the Eight of Pentacles to Seven Pentacles again, and then assessing their worth, or the Divine Masculine must work twice as hard while watching the Divine Feminine reaping rewards with daydreaming heart. And again, this is what the Feminine said in the beginning of the journey. So there's a sudden exchange between the 8 and the 7, where the 8 could be 2 fours of Pentacles as well, which is the Divine Masculine, and then the 7 of Pentacles of the Feminine, and then the 422 of the Emperor and the Fool, the central energy of the Ace of Swords, which is upright here, and the Ace of Wands, very powerful new beginning energy in the middle here. As the High Priestess gets out, the truth. It's like they're putting out the truth from home. Inspiring Hermit to respond in kind, as the Ace of Wands is upright with new growth and creativity, or the Hermit is upright taking a look at the Page of Wands as wand, perhaps needing strength, or the Hermit sees the Page of Wands as showy wand or use of power as a sign of weakness, when synchronicities are all around to answer the unknowns, with options, or confused because they like everything they see, a kid in a candy store, with issues at work and manipulations, perhaps with tools, or insecure, or using them not for the good of all concerned. So Virgo is upright, and Leo and Cancer and Virgo reversed, as the challenge here is the Eight of Pentacles upright, of working with crystals, not with flames, as the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups, who's reversed, are with the King of Wands upright in a breakup and stressed or overwhelmed, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed and a cutthroat defender perhaps, or the Queen of Pentacles reversed is standing up to the Queen of Swords reversed, or the King of Wands is stuck between them. God help them. Perhaps they're 2 daughters, or 2 women, or 2 co-workers who are always arguing at work. Perhaps Gemini and Leo or Virgo with children present. And the King of Wands, kids not getting along. As the baby may be upright, the baby of the family may be jealous of their older sibling, or maybe the older sibling's jealous. The baby's getting their way, and there's a jealous older sibling here, or again, just generally sibling rivalry, and this can reference the parents as well at 433 of the Emperor, and standing up for themselves. Perhaps the need of parents to stand up to the kids to make them clean up their own messes, or to a brother or sister to make them clean up their own messes. So now here's the karma and the wake-up call, or a painful ask due to playing hardball, or ending pain, or a painful end, or a massage, or perhaps withholding and saving and trying to magnetize a positive commitment, or rules, societal norms, guidance, traditions, perhaps to establish guidelines and commitment and what commitment means. I love you, honey. Have a good night, okay? Be present. The gift that you are. So the commitment, what does commitment mean? Unable to leave. As Aquarius and Taurus are upright, perhaps unwilling to change, uncomfortable not sleeping together. And it's funny too, because a lot of this stuff was coming up when we were talking today. Aquarius and Taurus unwilling to change, uncomfortable not sleeping together, or in an awakening to disconnect or distance, or through a death or dark night. Taurus is upright with Scorpio upright, but doesn't look like they're seeing eye to eye, as the dark night catches the liar, cheater, thief in the act of injustice or stealing from the poor, or perhaps stealing from the tip jar or from a charity or other people's tips in a twist of fate, and that can be at work, and having to let go of what little you have left or made to fix and or mend any shortcomings or failures, perhaps getting paid under the table or due to addictive behavior, the chariot running right over them and very satisfied with themselves, or feeling railroaded. As the Libra reversed, perhaps two of them here, or double Libra in their chart, Cancer upright there, or one who doesn't feel satisfied until they've been hit by a Mack truck, or they don't feel like they've done enough, or they don't feel that satisfaction until they've worked that hard that they feel like they've been hit like a Mack truck and they just come home and collapse. Or at least feels like they got hit by Mack truck and survived it. And it's like that adrenaline that they can't feel happy unless they have this huge adrenaline rush every day. And that was at 442, the Emperor and the Two of Cups. So at 443 is soon, with the Emperor and the Three of Cups of coming together in joy, or not. The Empress, the guidance card rather, is up here, upright with the King of Cups, perhaps with out of control or sick kids, or just drained giving guidance, or tired of having to babysit, overexposed or burned at 444, the angelic realms, with Taurus upright and Leo reversed in post-war or post-virus PTSD, perhaps antisocial or present to the nothingness of coming in, or a burden in making sure they're all present and accounted for. At 445 is the twin flames, that they're seeing themselves as the Four of Cups wishing on a star, an island to themselves, as the King of Pentacles is reversed and the Nine of Pentacles upright, sovereign, in need of peace when dealing with groups, causing delays, or in heated exchange, with the Six of Cups reversed or children of divorce, or parents divorcing, and siblings who don't agree, or unable to get past the ugly exchange. At 448, the Emperor and walking away and within. As the King of Swords reversed, perhaps sent a message, stepping up to say he's been working really hard for a very long time, either slaving for or working to get to the Queen of Cups upright and the Empress upright, or serving two masters, or mother and two kids, or child, mother and grandmother perhaps. The block here is in the injustice of being hung out to dry, knowing perhaps and keeping to themselves for peace of mind, while recovering those who are out in the cold, right? So not healing themselves because they're busy healing others. As Taurus is upright and Libra reversed, Pisces or Capricorn upright and Leo reversed. And again, this energy of heading towards the Five of Swords, or ending that inner war, no longer juggling three and saving two for later, as the Four of Cups is upright and the Queen of Swords reversed, the grieving widow or scorned woman with PTSD and grounding and integrating how to receive kindness. As the Knight of Wands reversed gets back on the horse and is going the distance and happy with themselves, needing closure, to come full circle, or in 5D, announcing a wake-up call at the new moon, early morn, subconscious release of the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunction or loss, and the Emperor upright with the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or tunneling his way through the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Swords reversed to surrender to all that is. As the King of Wands is hanging out with the Queen of Cups upright, to surrender to all that is. needing to alchemize and ascend, or on the road again, overwhelmed by twin flame and depressed ex, or depressed and needing to heal in a breakup or lack of affection. With Saggy, Aquarius, and Gemini reversed, and Cancer upright, in a twist of fate with the Hermit, King of Pentacles reversed, or Libra reversed and Virgo upright with Taurus upright. And the Empress upright with the Queen of Cups upright, but the King of Swords is reversed, as the King of Swords is not sending 5D messages to the Ten of Cups reversed, with jealousy with the Knight of Cups reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles is drained, slaving away for the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business or community or legacy, and weakened by the Page of Cups, the innocent, in disconnect or at a distance, or receiving loving messages from a distance, perhaps from a child, at 505, which is 2 Hierophants and space between. So you have the Nine of Pentacles upright and the Nine of Cups upright, all right? 2 sovereign energies, one more of practical energies, learning how to become sovereign, and the other in their emotional energies, learning to become sovereign, and now are happy with themselves and single. After the Page of Pentacles reverse was stressed out with the Emperor upright, or driving the Emperor crazy, as 2 sovereigns in a world of their own, in the E-Tower of the Divine Feminine's heart, passing downloads to share in a heated exchange, or delays in grounding and integrating, with the King of Swords reversed in a storm, where the truth was always just right there beneath the surface all along, just like in The Wizard of Oz. The challenge being aligning or being on an assembly line of guidance and injustice, and judgment and calls, post-war of growing up, with the King of Wands upright and hanging out with the Queen of Cups, surrendering to all that is and ascending fast, sharing failures and heartbreaks, disappointments and stress and storms, with constant delays of the truth coming in, challenged by work and alignment with a wake-up call to ground, integrate, and master guidance or a marriage, and that can be a practical marriage as well, or business, to the King of Swords reversed, with Libra reversed in their chart perhaps, or perhaps a childish Gemini or Aquarius upright, perhaps with Taurus, or unjust manipulating other people's thoughts for fun, or inner war of the King of Swords reversed and the King of Wands upright, where the King of Wands is learning others' perspectives of the Queen of Cups and the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering, or realizing once they accept whatever they're not accepting, the lack of blending, then all of a sudden they start ascending. So that was at 519, which is the Hierophant and the Sun. Okay. And this was really interesting too, because 1903 came up in my last message about the March of the Mill children. And I was watching a movie, and literally the guy, they were showing pictures of the guy. I think this is in Making of a Murderer, which is a very long series as a documentary for those of you who haven't watched it. But he's standing right in front of a picture posing, I guess, from prison, and one of them, he's standing right in front of a boat that is lit, the number on it is EST 1903, which is, that year just came up in the last message. Yeah, oh, and by the way, March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd came up significantly too, as that just came up in my last message as well. All right, so I just want to pull a few oracle cards for you guys and then let you go. I have to put these 2 pieces together because I had to stop the video. 123.43. And let's just pull from the Fortune's Oracle, because I love the energy of this deck. It's 5, oh, this just flipped out as I'm doing the cards. So here's the world, is 36, which is the Atlas energy, the weight of the world on your shoulders. Be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. Remember, 3-6 is 3-6-9. It's that energy. And again, the reference of 3D, 4D, 5D. And the underlying energy here is the transformation, the breaking of the chains. You see how the birds here are breaking the chains, and we had the blue avians coming in, so you might want to call in the blue avians if you'd like. But again, remember, call in that only that high vibrational energy. And we have here the 23 and the 32 reflecting each other. the 23 of the King of Wands and the 32 of the Journeyman, right? The two fire energies facing each other. The wise owl between the two stars, the sun and the Sirius energy here, and the breaking of the chains at Lionsgate here, and the journey there. So remember, this happened the other day too. I'm going to show that to you again, because we have the King of Wands, and then the Journeyman. Okay? So here's the King of Wands, right? So you have this kind of energy here of these guys facing each other. Around the world, the Atlas energy of the weight of the world. And the next two cards coming out, again, these are cards that came out earlier today too. The Lovers 18, the Romance, and the Dragonfly 2 is 1, the Pulsating Heart, and the Beautiful Mind. And drag on, breathe in. The Romance of the Dance, and again, bringing up August and August 8th, right? The Leap, you bring these two numbers together, it's 188, the Leap to 88, August 8th, okay? 369 of Atlas with a map of intent, and the Leap to August 8th, and don't forget that Philadelphia experiment bounces back to August 13th, I think is this year. So we need to send a lot of love to those energies, especially around Philadelphia and New York, where the Philadelphia experiment was done and then reappeared in New York, around Long Island too. And I brought up Plum Island a lot. They do a lot of experimentation there. So look out for news about that kind of stuff, or just keep your eyes open and send lots of love. And again, they could be trying to use that Philadelphia experiment to pull through a portal to help bring negative energies back into the planet again. So again, we're breaking the chains and the underlying energy. This is good news. Reach out for the power and strength to make changes and enrich your life and become the person you want to be. Okay, around the world with a map of intent, around the world in 80 days, +1. Be open, and there's that leap, the 1, the 2 dots, and the arc between. Be open to new possibilities in all areas of life. There are 2 paths ahead. Be true to yourself, right? You and your other. And have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. And again, there's this energy of Atlas. It came up in the message of Atlas kind of dumping the weight of the world onto Hercules, which is the feminine energy, as they share the energy in a romance here, 2 as 1. And again, that could be coming up around Lionsgate as well. So I feel like pulling a tea leaf too for you. Let me just pull from one half of the deck anyway. Oh, 1 flew under the table. Okay, so you have your psychic abilities to use your intuition, your third eye. And then let's see where this rolling stone went. Let's see. Oh, I found it. It went rolling all around the table. All right, so clear your desk for your career. Okay, use your intuition. There's not much you need on your desk when you're using your intuition. So again, it's just focus, it's bringing up that you're using your intuition, your abilities for your career. On the bottom of the deck is the dragon here, but I want to see what other, there's some more cards that want to be seen here. All right, that's it. All right, so we have the dragon at the bottom, beware of self-delusion. And then we have these guys that came out, this May and the Star. This message was coming out earlier too for somebody else. So May and the Star. So what happened in May? Or is this for you next May? Guaranteed success. Maybe there's a long-term plan that you have. But then we also have these cards that came up. The Dark Woman and the Dark Man with the Lily, the crowning moment of spiritual love. So again, the Dark Woman, Dark Man, it just have to do with coloration. It could be dark couple, but it's dealing with a relationship with a man or woman with dark complexion or hair. And crowning moment of spiritual love. And then the Bat, take care, enemies are working against you. All right, so and the masculine is always referred to as Batman in the Bat Cave, right? And this comes up Yeah. So there may still maybe some energy on the masculine side that's giving trouble to the bond there of the crown. And again, this was coming up on the side of the feminine over here, right? So he's still having struggles, but she's not. But again, at the beginning of the process, the feminines were complaining that the masculine he's just having fun, he's getting all the glory, he has everything he wants, while the women are struggling because they were connected within feeling traumatized. So just come into this from different perspectives, from the beginning and end. So it's literally just also telling you, now the masculine's going through basically what the feminine went through, but in a different way. Okay, so you know, the energies are changing every day. If this is, you know, this is it, you guys. This energy is clear. It's very significant. Going to the Olympics next year. This should be a big year. Yeah, I hope you like the messages coming through. Very significant here. Remember to breathe. Remember to drink enough water. I know I remind you every time, but people forget. Reminding you to get your sleep. You know, I don't always go to bed early, and I might mess up my sleep pattern, so I have to remind myself to do that as well. Remember to be joyful every day. Remember to ground yourself every day. Go out in nature. Enjoy yourself, right? Breathe in the fresh air. Take a walk or go exercise. Go play. Go to the beach and breathe the fresh ocean. Perhaps send some loving energy wherever you go. Send love to the water. Send love to the land, to the animals, to the trees, to the flowers, to the children, to everyone. And you'll feel the energy boomerang back to you. So rise and be love, love and rise. I'll see you guys. Have an amazing day. Bye.